Hello guys, in this video we are going to discuss the solution of the problem nuts and bolts problem. So let us look at the problem statement. The problem statement says that given a set of n nuts and bolts, there is one-on-one mapping between nuts and bolts. You have to match nuts and bolts efficiently. Comparison of a nut to another nut or a bolt to another bolt is not allowed. It means the nut can only be compared with the bolt and bolt can only be compared with the nut to see which one is bigger or smaller. The element should follow the following order. So this is the order in which the element has to be arranged. Now let us try to understand the problem statement with the help of an example. So the nuts which is given to us is this and the bolts which is given to us is this. What we need to do is we need to arrange nuts and bolts in this order. So if we arrange nuts and bolts in this order, the resultant value we will obtain is this value, and this is what we are printing for nuts and bolts. So that's about the problem statement, folks. Now let us discuss the solution of this problem. So there are two ways via which we will be able to solve this problem. So let us discuss both the cases. So one way of solving this problem is using dictionaries. So what we are going to do is we are going to create a dictionary, an order dictionary, and the element of the order dictionary are these elements. So like in this order, the element has to be arranged, which is mentioned in the question. That order dictionary is what we are going to maintain. And initially we are going to set these values as false. So let us say this is the order dictionary which we will have, and then we will have our nuts and bolts. So let's say the nuts which we have is this, and the bolts which we have is this. So once we have these nuts and bolts and order dictionary with us, what we are going to do is we are either going to iterate on nuts or bolt. But the point is we will be iterating on just one of the array. So let us say we are iterating on the nuts array, and for the elements which are present in nuts, the corresponding value in the order dictionary we are going to mark it as true. So for instance, @ is present in nuts, so for the corresponding value over here, this we are going to make it as true. Similarly, for percentage, this we are going to make it as true, and so on for the other elements. So these elements will be set to true. Now once we have set these elements to true, what we are going to do is we are going to iterate on the order dictionary. So let us iterate on the order dictionary. So for key in order.keys, and for all these things, if order of key is set to true, if this is true, then what we are going to do is we are going to manipulate nuts. Nuts of I will be equals to key, and bolts of I is equals to key. And initially the value of I will be equals to 0, and once we have done this, we are going to increase our ith value. And in this way we will be able to arrange our nuts and bolts in the order mentioned in the question. So that's solution 1, folks. Now let us discuss the pseudocode for this solution. So let us say we would like to match pairs. Nuts is given to us, bolts is given to us, and the size of nuts and bolts is given to us. The first thing which we are going to do is we are going to have our order dictionary. So I'm not mentioning the order dictionary, but the values are these. Right, the one which we have discussed, these are the values of the order dictionary. Now once we have this, what we are going to do is we are going to iterate on nuts. So for x in nuts, we are simply going to say order of x is equals to true. Once we have set this to true, then the next thing which we are going to do is we are going to iterate on the keys of nuts. So for key in order dot keys, and to do so we'll have an I variable also, I equals to 0, and then we are going to check whether this key is equals to true or not. So we are going to check whether order of key is equals to true. If order of key is equals to 2, then the bolts of I is equals to key and nuts of I is also equals to key, and then we will increase our ith counter. So I plus equals to 1. So that's the pseudocode to arrange the nuts and bolts in the order mentioned in the question. So now let us discuss the second solution also. The second solution is rather very simple. what we are going to do is we are just going to sort nuts and bolts. And the way we are going to sort it is we are going to use the sort function which Python has. So nuts dot sort, and then we are going to pass a key and we are going to pass a compare function. And this compare function, let us define this compare function. So let us say x is the element. What we are going to do is we are going to again have our order dictionary with us. So in this case, the order dictionary, what we are going to do is we are going to mention the order of the element. So for instance, this has to be the first element, so that is why I'm marking it as 1. Then the second element has to be hash, so that is why let us mark this as 2. Similarly, the dollar has to be 3, so that's why 3, and so on for all the elements. So once we have this order defined, then what we have to do is then we have to just simply return order of x. So on that ground, the nuts will get sorted, and similarly we will sort the bolts also. So bolts dot sort and key is equals to compare. And in this way, we'll be able to sort our nuts and bolts, or we'll be able to arrange nuts and bolts in the order mentioned in the question. So that's the two solution, folks. Now let us see the implementation of these two solutions in C++ and Python. So first, let us look at the implementation in Python, which I have done using the sort function. So I'm just sorting nuts and bolts here and the compare function which we have discussed. And this is the compare function. Over here, the ordering I have marked it as 1, 2, 3 all the way till 9. And then I'm returning order of x. And in this way, we will be able to arrange nuts and bolts in the order mentioned in the question, which is this order. Now let us submit this solution. So our solution got accepted. Now let's see the C++ implementation of this. And this I have used the dictionary approach which I have discussed. So this is the dictionary or the map I am using, which contains the values, and initially all the values are false. Now for the elements which are present in nuts, I'm marking the corresponding elements as true. Once I have marked it as true, then I'm iterating on the dictionary or the map, and if that map value is set to true, then the corresponding entry I'm making in nuts and bolts. And in this way, we are able to arrange our nuts and bolts. Now let us submit this solution as well. So the C++ solution also got accepted. So that's about this video, folks. In case if you have any question or comment regarding this video, please feel free to use the comment section and I'll try to address them. Thank you.